Core TV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to Core TV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. And Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Core TV, leave a space, then news. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station.
Glad to have you stay with us on Core Digest Wednesday. They say we're taking our electoral process to another level with the introduction of the permanent voter card. Some have said that this is a very, very strong step towards electronic voting in Nigeria. Data capturing, no doubt, finding out really the number of people voting beyond just being able to account for their names, the use of fingerprints, security-wise, and all of that. Well, you will agree with me that there's been quite a number of criticisms as regards how INEC have gone with the PVC collection, the re-registration process, and all of that. We were on the streets of Lagos yesterday to find out what people's opinion are as regards the PVC collection ahead of the 2015 general election, and this is exactly what they have to say.
People where you know collect, you're supposed to get your own. So you understand now, because if you don't get, because of our children, supposed to get.
The election cannot be held when you don't have the card, because it will resort to fraudness. Because they will try to manipulate people's name without voting and tell them that they've already voted.
They should postpone the election. Yes, that's my own suggestion. Maybe they should postpone the election. Normally, for one to vote, you have to use your PVC. But if you don't have it, you're not going to vote. I think the procedure of collecting it is they need to extend the time.
Voted the other time, I saw nothing out of it. So right now, I've decided I'm not going to vote for anybody. Not ready to vote. I'll stay at home and relax.
I have no doubt that INEC is aware of the position of people who haven't collected this, and they also understand that they have to fully be prepared for these elections. They can't afford to fail Nigerians. And honestly, with all sincerity, with the past past results we have had from INEC, I think we still have to give them a chance. It's 40 days to election right now.
The election will come and people will vote. But my advice is, if they don't have the capacity to produce such a number of PVC now, they should allow people that have the slip, that are registered, to vote.
I think the INEC should take a rethink about this issue of insisting on using permanent voters card if majority of Nigerians have not collected that PVC, and then maybe have a way of accommodating those with temporary voters card. That is my take. Unless they improve on their level of giving out the PVCs, because most people have been going to the local government areas where they say they can go nearest to their, and they are not being attended to. Nobody is there to attend to them. And so if you have succeeded in depriving many Nigerians the opportunity of exercising their franchise in 2015, so how constitutional, how legal is that election?
We're hoping to be joined on the show today by a resident electoral commissioner on telephone. We've not reached him yet. We hope that we'll be able to get his side of all of this. But I'm joined already, I believe for the first time this year, by the phenomenal Bolauba. Good morning. Good to see you. Happy New Year.
Good morning. Thank you very much for the opportunity once again. And you are the phenomenal. You catch fire after fire.
I knew you would say that. But have you gotten your PVC?
No.
Why?
But I've registered. You see, my case is quite peculiar. I was living in the diaspora for so many years. When I came back, never once registered. On this particular occasion, I felt it was incumbent on me to register, so I took the, I registered this time around, so I only have the temporary card that you get for having been registered with a view to getting my PVC before the election, so INEC advertised.
Okay. Well, get your phones, and Igor will also open the phone lines very shortly to find out if you have gotten your PVC, and of course your comments on some other issues we'll be touching on. Earlier this week, Pastor Tunde Bakare suggested a postponement of the election as a result of insecurity in northern Nigeria. Of course, INEC has responded to that.
In northeastern Nigeria.
In northeastern Nigeria.
When you say northern Nigeria, it's a very big
northeast Nigeria. And of course, INEC has responded to that, saying no, it won't be postponed. You also heard in the sound we played earlier, someone suggesting that as a result of this PVC thing, probably the election should be postponed. What are your thoughts along that line?
No, there are two different issues, and they should not be conflated. Two different issues, because come to think of it, the issue in the northeast is a very serious socio-political issue. We have a number of Nigerians now who are internally displaced within their own country and some outside the country. So many communities in the northeast are, as we speak, literally under the control of the insurgents. Logistically, it's going to be a major challenge to conduct elections in those places. And we don't even have the security and infrastructure to guarantee the bona fide residents that they can go back to their communities, or indeed, if some are still subsisting, and I'm using my word advisedly, subsisting within their communities, to have the courage of character to want to come out and vote. So, but being that the fact as we have it now on the ground, I believe it is a travesty for anybody to call for the postponement of the election. There are so many goings on, behind the facade that we see of some personalities that we tend to want to celebrate, that we must be very, very careful the kind of statements coming from them these days. We have to be very, 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 very careful. Pastor Tunde Bakare, apart from being a minister of the gospel, he is a lawyer, and he knows what is stated in the Constitution. Section 135, subsection 3 of the Nigerian Constitution only countenances that in case we are in a situation where it is not pragmatic to hold election, subject to the approval of the National Assembly, the tenure of the president and all elected officials of state can be extended for 6 months. But Pastor Bakare, in his peculiar call, is actually calling for an interim national government, which is not at all countenanced by the Constitution, which is a strange phenomenon to the Constitution. So I guess, and it's ironic that when he was making the call, Odumaki sat literally beside him. And you could remember that a couple of days before he made the call, at Odumaki's book launch, the Minister of Police Affairs was actually arrogating that call, the call for ING to Obasanjo, and he was saying they were ready. They were ready. Oh, he had given instruction that, irrespective of the status of the person, should be arrested. That in politics, this is what they call triangulation.
It's all right.
People,
I'm not ready to go there yet. Let us take a little.
It's not even fair to go there because I would rather you have the likes of Odumaki because
so that they can balance.
But it is a travesty.
But let's take a little detail. Mr. President had a meeting with governors of Northeast states yesterday, and one of the things I heard from the northern stakeholders is that they are still insisting that elections must hold even in these states. Do you see that feasible?
It is feasible. Feasible because, in so much as swaths, sizable chunk of those states in so much as they are, you know, literally under the control of the insurgents, a sizable chunk of the states too are still under the control of the bona fide constitutionally recognized authorities. Well, not all the parts of the states are literally under the control of the insurgents. Not all the parts of the states are literally inaccessible by our authorities. So elections should be held in those places that are still within the control of the Nigerian authorities.
Can we in any way assure the safety of lives and property?
My brother,
have we shown so much confidence in the people to even come out and vote in the first place?
You see, legitimate question to ask, but let's be very honest with ourselves. The human psyche, I tell people, the human psyche is a very resilient, very elastic, very robust psycho-emotional this thing. The people living in those places, those who probably cannot take it anymore, want a salo. The people who are still there, they are trying to pick out what is akin to a normal living. You cannot, nobody has the right in this country except pronounced by, you know, a competent court of jurisdiction to deny them the right to play the sovereign. Because this constitution now defines sovereignty as being residual in the people. So for me, Balaba, except pronounced by a competent, if people believe that they should not vote in those places as a result of certain potent reasons, they should approach the court to get a pronouncement.
Well, are you saying categorically here that Nigeria as a nation has the capacity to conduct elections in all of these states at the same time, and we are also assuring the citizens of their safety and their
I want you to repeat, because I want to methodically follow your use of language. Please.
I'm asking you if you're saying categorically on this platform that Nigeria has the capacity to ensure the protection of lives and property across board in the general election,
we have never
inclusive of the 3 northeastern
your
states.
Your question itself, with due respect, my brother, your question itself is utopic. Utopic because even in the best of the elections I grew up to know in this country, there had never been any time that the Nigerian authorities could guarantee across the panoply of our geographical distance an election devoid, an election wherein lives of people could be generally protected. But we must have elections. And my brother, look, are you telling me that in some other states, far away from the points of conflagration, their lives are not being lost as a result of sheer act of, politicking?
What now is the moral justification?
But the question I need to ask at this juncture is, are the governors there drawing salaries? Yes. Are the legislators in those states drawing salaries? Yes. Are the elected, if they are, and I doubt if they are, elected chairmen of councils there drawing salaries? Yes. They must face revalidation of their mandate.
Is INEC morally justified to conduct elections in these states where even up until recently there are still news of bomb blast? Election is a situation whereby people will have to come together at a point. You know what that means?
Are you telling me now that the whole of the states, the 3 states in question, are now literally under the control of Boko Haram? Are their governors still existing in those states? They sit in those states. They draw their salaries from those states. Legislators sitting in those states draw their salaries from those states. In the pockets of those states where peace can be established, where there is a semblance of peace and normalcy, let them conduct elections. Simple.
It's all right. Let me open the phone lines very quickly. You can also follow us on Twitter at Call Digest Live. When you call in, please turn down the volume of your TV set. Let's keep the conversation on telephone. Now, let's quickly touch on the PVC. Let's go back to the PVC for a while. The last time I was here with the resident electoral commissioner, I'm not sure of the facts and figures now, but I think I heard one of them say that about 50 million PVCs have already been distributed. It looks as if INEC is saying it is not as bad as Nigerians paint it.
Personal opinion is that INEC has failed so grandiosely that instead of owning up to the truth now, they are indeed now resorting to a kind of media or PR whatever. The truth, as we speak, is that they may have printed 60 to 65% of the cards by people that they have confirmed in their own system to be the bona fide, eligible prospective voters, but no INEC official, including Professor Jega, can sit before me and tell me that they have distributed 65% of the cards. They kept using the word 65% as though it's a clincher that if you get to or if you go above, you have done well.
Well, about let's quickly take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll also take your calls. Stick around, don't go away.
You can now watch Core TV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to Core TV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Core TV. Leave a space, then news. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station.
Has it been a difficult task for you to purchase exquisite, classic, durable and sturdy furniture that will last the test of time? Here is good news for you. Purchase high-quality furniture for your household, offices, hotels and schools at Prince Interior Furnishing and Furniture Company Limited. Office address, Goshen Plaza, Showroom 28, Kubo Furniture Market, AYA, Nyanya Road, Abuja. Telephone 0803-119-1444 or 09291-7482. Email princeemeka240@yahoo.com. info@princeinterior.com. Website www.princeinterior.com. Purchase your furniture at Prince Interior Furnishing and Furniture Company Limited. Classic, strong, exquisite.
All right, welcome back. We have Boloba joining us on set, still with us, discussing 2015 general elections between INEC and, of course, the electorate. Alhaji Jaji is also calling from Lagos. Are you still there, Alhaji?
I am here, sir. I am here, sir. I want to thank you for this good program. It's been my fourth time of joining Core TV.
Core TV.
And I'm quite glad here. I'm quite glad the way you have been handling the situation.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, I want to thank my good brother that is there seated, and I continue to see him on programs. They said this one that I've seen it for the first time. I want to really appreciate his contribution. Anytime I see him, I always know something sensible is coming out of him.
Thank you very much.
Tell you, sir.
Thank you very much.
I agree 100% in total with his own position. There is no doubt about it. There were politically elected people in a particular position and office in this state. Their term and tenure must expire. It must come to end and it must come to last. And when it comes to last, there is need for Nigerians to now say, yes, we still want you to continue or not. In spite of anything, at whatever point, at anything that is happening or affecting their life. What really matters is for us to now say, this is the man I want to live with. So if they are saying these people that have been there over time are no more credible enough to continue to govern them, let them use their photos, move them out. Because there is no other way, legitimate way, to move them out except their vote. So this vote is paramount, it's key to the life and progress of any given nation. So our people are said on to decide, to determine their faith, to determine their push-up, to determine what will happen to them, and to determine who they will submit themselves to continue to govern them. So I quite agree with him. In part of anything that's happening anywhere, there must be elections. And that's why I'm commending the effort and position of Mr. President for calling out the recording agents order and giving them advice and instructions. Look, there must be election in those places. They must not continue to deceive Nigerians. If I can, we'll get it right. And by God's faith, we are getting it right with Jonathan. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alhaji Jaji, calling in from Lagos. Good to hear from you. Well, there are also calls, because we already left that side. He took us back a little. There are also calls now from certain quarters that probably the temporary voter card should be allowed in 2015.
We are in this cul-de-sac as a result of the unilateral pronouncement of INEC. Before they started issuing permanent voters card, there had always been the temporary voters card. Abi? And people used it not in one, not in two, not in 3 elections. And for God's sake, why can't we not synchronize the gradual movement to the PVC from the TVC? It's simple. Simple logic. Synchronize it. If we now, at this juncture, cannot print or cannot sort out the logistical madness that will make us give PVC to every bona fide registered person, we will do a combo of temporary voters card and permanent voters card and set a target for ourselves.
Should be a collabo.
Collabo, something like that. We're making it's good to bring the degree of human to it. I was on the same platform about 10 months ago with the REC of Lagos, Resident Electoral Commissioner of Lagos, and I was telling the gentleman even then, about 10 months ago, that it was for me, given my experience in some other jurisdictions or polities, it was for me somewhat late then that they had not started the continuous voters registration this thing, and that they had not started perfecting the methodology of voting. I said, no, my brother, we have time for this and this thing. Look at less than 3 months or 4 months to the election, they started all the charade they called continuous voter registration and card issuance. And as we speak now, we are practically less than, say, 5-6 weeks away from the election.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Welcome to Call Digest. Are you there? I'm afraid we lost that. Now, what way forward for Nigeria in achieving a credible, free and fair election in the light of all of this?
Look, I have always said that some of us profit from, some of us tend to profit from allowing chaos. Ironically, on this occasion, let me shock you, my brother. Ironically, on this occasion, the political class are even doing better than INEC. You know why I'm saying the political class are doing better than INEC? The 2 political parties have committed to, issues-based campaign. Yesterday, when the president was constituting his this thing, he publicly challenged his nominees or his appointees for strategic roles in his campaign. He challenged them that he did not want to hear them throwing abusive or irrelevant this thing at the opposition. General Muhammadu Buhari started his campaign yesterday. No abuses. What he believed was the issue was what he went for.
Except that the DG of the presidential campaign team still touched on Buhari certification and his
Don't
age.
let's go into.
Are those still issue-based?
Don't let's go into pedanticism.
No, I just want us to define what issue-based campaigns are.
I'm
talking about the other person's age and certification. Is it issue-based?
I'm not a PDP person. You know I'm not an APC person.
Okay.
But let's be very honest with ourselves. You will still have some, some outliers, and some people will still say, but relative to where we're coming from. You are a new savvy journalist now, my brother. Relative to where we're coming from, don't you think what we're having now is a degree of polish?
It's all right. Let's take this call, Bola, just a minute. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, welcome to Call Digest.
Hello, good morning. I'm Tochukwu calling from Anambra.
Tochukwu.
Hello, Tochukwu. Always good to hear from you.
Good morning. My brother is Tabola. Good morning. Happy New Year.
Same to you, my brother.
Yes, I believe that this 2016 will be a year of happiness for everybody.
Amen.
Amen.
We're not going to experience death like we witnessed in 2014.
Amen.
My thought about the INEC and the electorate is that the INEC needs our support now and they never needed it. You see, if you take a good look at what has happened in other states apart from Lagos, listening to the INEC man, giving reasons why they are experiencing complications in Lagos State as a result of a high rate of electorates who registered and what have you. So I think they have done well in other states that we have fewer electorates who registered. And in places where they are having complications as a result of the population, places like Kano and Lagos, I think they need our support. Let's give them a fair trial, a fair chance. There is no reason for being skeptical about INEC capacity.
Okay.
You know, you asked a question, you asked a question as to whether the government, the Nigerians have the capacity to assure Nigerians of safety of life and property. I'm glad you asked that question in that direction because it is not just the responsibility of the federal government to give assurance. Nigerians should have the capacity to own this election. And then time has come, we've come of age, whereby we take our destiny and plan for ourselves. So I believe that INEC needs our help. They are going to face a number of challenges, but they need us to assist them. So that is my thought about this issue. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tochukwu. Good to hear from you from Anambra. Just before you contribute to that, let me quickly have this report because there are lots of issues we have to touch on. Recently, INEC brought out its do's and don'ts, no clashing of political campaigns, no talking about people's personalities. One of those things they also talked about was not removing the other parties, what do you call it now, posters and all of that. And also in response to that, the Nigerian police also talked about possible prosecution of anyone caught doing that. In reaction to that, the managing director of the Lagos State Signage and Advertisement Agency, Judge Noah, says the agency will not relent in carrying out its constitutional responsibility of regulating outdoor advertising, even in the face of a threat to arrest its officers by the police. We were able to get a report on that, filed in by Omotayo Alo. Let's just take that and we'll be back with you. Don't go away.
I've directed all their commanders and divisional police officers in the command to be on the lookout and arrest anybody that attempts to remove any billboard or poster of any candidate of the various political parties under whatever guise, as the command will not stand by and allow anyone to truncate the forthcoming general election.
Obviously, that warning by the Commissioner of Police in Lagos, Kayode Aderanti, on the disposition to political campaign posters did not sit well with the Managing Director of LASA, Judge Noah, who says his men will continue their constitutional role and seek appropriate redress if any of them were arrested.
I would hate to believe that if our staff go out to remove posters or outdoor materials in contravention of our guidelines, the Nigerian police, those whose job it is to protect us will be the ones that will turn against us. I would hate to believe that.
NOAA revealed that there are 727 billboards in Lagos, with LASA handling only 26 to advertise Lagos projects, while the rest are handled by registered outdoor practitioners that politicians and political parties could place legal advert with and not deface Lagos, even though it is an electioneering year.
We have not removed any billboard of any practitioner, and that's why I say that, it appears to me that the Commissioner of Police may have been misinformed. If there is any billboard that we have removed, let anybody come and say it. That LASA went and removed a billboard belonging to one political party. It's not true. And no one can accuse our staff who go to remove posters on highways of leaving the posters of one party and keeping another.
The agency stressed that it is not partisan in its dealing with political parties, while stressing zero tolerance for posters placed in Lagos highways. He admonished politicians to be more creative in their awareness campaigns and be law-abiding, while also calling on the Nigerian police to enforce law and order rather than pay attention to speculations. Omotayo Alo, Core TV News, Lagos.
So it looks like we have a situation with INEC, the Nigerian police, of course, LASA in all of this picture. We have lots of people calling in. I would advise that you take advantage of our Twitter handle. We might not be able to take lots of calls today. Just follow us on Twitter at Core Digest Live, and we'll love to read out your opinions from them. We're also joined now by Barrister Liberus Oshoma.
Anegbete
Oshoma. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. And Happy New Year to you.
Same to you.
Recently, INEC came up with do's and don'ts. One of it is that political parties should not remove other parties' posters and all of that. And now the police is saying we're going to prosecute anyone found wanting as regards that. LASA again is saying that it is our responsibility to remove these posters defacing walls and public infrastructure. And to be fair to LASA, I recall in 2011, one of those first times I entered Lagos, that was when I think Nuhu Ribadu was contesting under the ACN platform. I saw those posters being removed
after the election.
No, during, even before
after
the election.
No, after the election.
I saw it before the election.
After the election.
I saw it before the election, no, Barrister Oshoma. I'm telling you what I saw.
After the elections, what happened after the elections? All the posters, LASA took pains to remove all of the posters.
Afterwards. But what I'm saying now is what I experienced even before the election. Okay. But the question now is that which way forward? Maybe we should begin to look at it from the eyes of the law.
I love INEC's code of conduct, but implementation is a different thing altogether. But while it is LASA's responsibility to ensure that nobody defaces Lagos, but that application of the law should be across board, should not be selective.
Selective, okay.
It is when it's selective that it violates the code of conduct for election. Mind you, one of the code of conduct also is that no government should use, government vehicles, the resources of states to campaign or take undue advantage of the state's electronic media and refuse opponents from using, this media also. And so if LASA is an agency of Lagos State government, as an agency of Lagos State government, removes posters of opposition parties and leaves the posters off.
Is that what they've been doing?
These are the allegations. If you listen to the commissioner, and I'm not the Lagos State Commissioner, the commissioner says some parties have complained that their posters are being defaced and removed by either government agencies or some agents. He did not call names of the parties.
Okay.
But if LASA says, look, no political party should deface Lagos with posters, take advantage of the billboards, and go through the normal channel, that's fine.
I'll be back with you, Barrister,
but
on this
the moment
issue.
You now begin to apply the law selectively, the parties have a right to.
Well, but is it that we've not been able to apply the rule of law? For crying out loud, what makes it right? If it was not right before election to deface walls and public infrastructures by poster, what makes it right when campaigns are around the corner?
I really have to approach this question with a degree of care and a degree of care because I came a long way with J.K. Noah. From England, actually. He's like a big brother and a friend. He's a friend and a brother. But I really want to use this opportunity, which ordinarily, if I were talking to him, this is what I would have told him. He really has to be very careful. Because political appointments and political offices are transient. Maximum another 8 years. Then he's going to leave that place. And his life, I pray, will transcend, his occupation of the office. So he really has to be very careful. However, having said that, LASA has a statutory obligation to make sure that some certain environmental laws are enforced in Lagos in relation to how people use signages. I must be very honest with you that it is becoming an issue now is an indictment of Noah himself. You know why I'm saying it's an indictment of Noah himself? I've never seen a worse time in recent times in Lagos as a resident of Lagos than when the APC was having their shadow election.
Exactly.
It was preposterous.
Exactly.
I would drive in some parts of Lagos and see the degree of carelessness that some of these APC stalwarts were pasting posters on just anything. So if it was not an issue then,
why is it an issue now?
If it was not an issue then, if I were to swap places with Noah, J.K. Noah, I'll wait this out and do what LASA has the infrastructure to do. Deploy their mechanized and automated poster and defacement removal equipment to remove those things. It will cost LASA extra, but it will save them.
What they actually did was immediately after the APC shadow election, the APC primaries, LASA deployed its machineries to removing those APC posters that were used for primaries, the same way they did after the 2011 election.
You're saying they should wait after the election now?
Because if you leave the posters of a particular party because it enjoys the support of the government of the state, and then you now remove the posters of opposition party, there is cause for complaint, because what you are basically doing, you are giving a political party an edge over the other. And if the police, in the course of their duty, now decides to arrest you, even if you go to court, they are doing their lawful duties also, because you are being selective also in implementing your own laws.
And for me, to be honest with you, it doesn't have to get to this. You know why I say it doesn't have to get to this? Look, the atrocity has commenced from the time of the shadow elections of the two de facto main parties. You countenance it. We are now at the, people are deploying these things now for the general elections. Why not countenance it and do your cleansing afterwards? This thing? However, use this as an opportunity to recurrently enlighten our politicians that if you do this, you are spoiling what you are supposed to administer.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Welcome to Call Digest.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello.
I need you to turn down the volume of your TV set. Can you do that for us? Okay. When you're calling in, endeavor to turn down the volume of your TV set so we can do without this feedback distortion. But are we looking, what exactly is the challenge here? Is it that we have a problem with media and publicity nationally? Why have we opted to...
No, we have a cultural problem. No, it's simple. We have a cultural problem that some people are determined to correct, but unfortunately, determined to correct, and therefore a statute is in place that gives LASA the power to do what LASA is doing. However, if you are even doing what you have the right to do, and you are not seen to be above board, your conduct could be misinterpreted to be partisan. And that is why somebody like myself is saying, you know what? If I were to swap places with GK Noir, I would be a bit more circumspect, because it's even, and this is Balaoba, I think it does not do him any good to be seen to be publicly challenging the resident commissioner of police in Lagos.
Do you agree that it's a cultural deficit? Why do we always have to paste posters on the streets?
Our cultural, our ways of campaign, we are not used to this door-to-door campaign, multimedia campaign, and then one of the ways politicians reach out to voters is through these posters.
And it's even wasteful.
It's solid. If our politicians have adopted, other method of reaching out to people, even these mass rallies that they do, it's wasteful also. There should be a better way of doing these things. And then if you start early, you see politicians do town hall meetings, abroad and all of that.
Almost all of us carry mobile phones now. And you send text messages. It's more effective than
when you have this use of posters, indiscriminate pasting of posters. Nobody's saying as a regulator you don't need to regulate it, but in regulating it, make sure it is across board.
And you are not seen, you are not misunderstood.
Exactly. Before the campaign, make sure you issue your riot act.
Let me quickly take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Welcome to Call Digest.
Hello?
Welcome to Call Digest. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
We're very much here with you. We can hear you loud and clear. Are you there?
Hello?
I'm afraid we're having challenges with those phone lines, but do remember that when you call in, turn down the volume of your TV set so we can hear you clearly and get your contributions as regards all of this. With the advent of social media, Facebook, Twitter, and all of that, one would have thought that the idea of pasting posters would have dwindled by this time.
This is not something you can just wish away, overnight.
It's a fact of our life.
It's something,
it's absurd.
Like Bola just said, you need to do public enlightenment on. I believe LASA ought to have started this long ago. As the campaigns are starting, these are our rules.
Like
Please,
6 months before,
to politicians across board, we will not take defacing of Lagos from anybody. Use alternative means. If you must do posters,
do it the right way.
Do it the right way through the appropriate channels and all of that. And so when you issue these directives, and then also give room for approvers, for political parties that will need to seek approvals from you, and then give them spaces where they can put these things. But when you don't do that, and then, because we all know it's our culture, it's our tradition, when we campaign, and then you see these posters indiscriminately, for a particular political party, you keep quiet, and then after that, you take time to take them off. And then
I may disagree a little bit with.
No.
You know why I would disagree?
No, wait,
you are making it seem like they are countenancing one. I know GK Noir.
Gentlemen, let me just take this call. Hello, good morning. Good morning, are you there? Turn down the volume of your TV set, oh.
Hello.
Are you there? Okay, we lost that. Bola,
enlighten your callers.
We've said that a million times. Let us focus on this because we don't have much time.
As soon as they hear the first hello,
they should go ahead with their contribution.
So, for me, it's not about... Because I actually saw LASA officials take off those posters after the primaries.
Elections, okay.
And so, the allegation to the Commissioner of Police were petitions from political parties that their posters were being removed. And listening also to LASA, LASA did not come out to say that we did not remove posters of these political parties
Okay.
All they said was that they didn't remove billboards, that no billboard was removed, but that they were carrying out their constitutional duty.
And they said they remove across the board the parties.
And if you go around
in illegal places,
if you go around Lagos, even from your clips that you are showing now,
you see that
you would see
look
that
at the defacement of structures.
of a particular political party's posters. And so, juxtaposing that with the response of Lassa, one would say that, look, when you're doing this, do it across board, and you ought to have started long before now.
Let me quickly come to you,
so
Bola.
that we would understand that, look, this is, the way Lassa
we're running
operates.
out of time now. You lived most of your life, but I'm getting that accurately, outside Nigeria. How is this done in developed climes that we're not getting right?
Let's be very honest with ourselves. You live in Lagos too. You are driving through Maryland. Let me give you a typical example now. You are driving through Maryland. The aesthetically enriching underpass that you usually go through, and you see tires, well-laid tires. You see historical pictures of the first generation of leaders in Nigeria. Would it be proper for you to now see vote Bola Oba? And the vote Bola Oba, one is slanting like this, one is slanting like that. It's not proper. Let's be very honest with ourselves. But you see, like he said, like he said, even when you want to carry out a duty that you have the force of law to do, common sense, tact, engagement of your community is also important and imperative. If you're seen to be like, because you have the force of law, you want to articulate it either rightly or wrongly, either rightly understood or misunderstood by some people, they will challenge even your power to execute that law. Because Lou, you know what? When justice is not at play, when justice is not seen to be at play in the enforcement of law, the law enforcer is asking for problem. That is where I have an issue with Lassa. They don't have to be caught limping like this.
Let me try this one more call if it will go through. But before then, what way forward now at this time? Because before you came in, we've touched on some other issues like the PVC distribution.
He has a very good story to tell.
Do you have your PVC now? Have you gotten your permanent voter card?
It's like I'm the strongest opponent of INEC in as far as this election, 2015 election. I don't have a PVC. As I talk to you,
so for not trying or for having tried?
I haven't tried. I've been to the local government. Exactly. I've been to the local government office 5 times. They keep telling me, come ending of the month. Now they have said I should come ending of January. Koshofe local government, to be precise. And unfortunately, there are PVCs. But they will tell you, oh, the one for your estate is not there. And in the whole of that area, we had about 3 polling booths in the area. But during the continuous registration exercise, they only came to 1 polling booth. People that even registered in other polling booths, nobody's talking about them. And they only pasted names of those with PVCs in 1 polling booth. It is the same problem all over. And so now you're talking about distributions. You have PVCs everywhere. INEC is claiming that they have distributed at least 60-something%, which is questionable, and that soon, before the ending of January, they would have distributed about 80-something%. And yet, people are still complaining that they don't have PVCs, not just in Lagos, but across board.
Gentlemen, I'm afraid this is where we're going to draw the curtain on the show today. These are issues that are developing, and subsequently we'll are hopeful that you will also join us on the show. Thank you very much, Bola Oba, for joining us today.
Thank you once again for the opportunity.
Libras Ashoma, it's a pleasure to have you.
Sorry for coming late.
Always.
I had to attend to some domestic issues.
All right, that wraps it on the show today. Join us again tomorrow for another exciting edition of the show. You can follow us on Twitter. We're so sorry we could not pick your calls today, but you can follow us on Twitter and make your comments known. It's at Core Digest Live. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Stick around for the top of the hour news.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influence the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on Core TV News.